Hi everyone, welcome to Icewind Dale Corrupted, Meet the Characters edition, and here we are with George. George is part of the team for Icewind Dale, and together we're going to be making a miniature with HeroForge.com's large interactive miniature maker. How are you doing today, George?
I'm doing all right, yeah, looking forward to this.
Yeah, well, let's dive straight in and let's get that mini pumping. So, Ashra Beckett. Ashra is human, yes?
Ashra is human, yeah.
Human and female-bodied? Femme-bodied?
Yes, correct.
Femme-bodied. Lovely. Well, then that's our starting point there, nice and easy under races. What were you going to say? You were going to say something.
I was just going to say, I was ogling the miniatures with wings, and I was like, well, this is disappointing in contexts like this to not have wings, but yes, no.
You'd be surprised how lovely it is to get the detailing in. Now, you see in front of you, there's a whole series of faces to give different facial structures, to know if we're going for the Warforged look today. But yes, there are quite a lot of different choices on here that might suit Ashra. Of these, you could say second from left, second from right sort of thing. Anything particularly jumping out at you as being quite fitting?
Yeah, actually, the one you just went for was the one I was about to call out.
Oh.
Yeah, something sort of, not actually harsh-faced, but certainly like defined and quite sharp.
Well,
feature, which I think
softness, this bar at the top, it generally sort of mask femmes it quite a bit, but you can get a sort of harder line to the face there if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I think the harder end of that spectrum is good.
Like sort of around there.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it brings out the definition.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we'll start there. Now, expression, they have a huge variety of options here. It appears that humans have 5 different expression categories: smile, cocky, snarl, confused, and my favourite, ah.
That is, as they say, a big mood.
I mean, I love that the far end of this is very much the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I've just seen a human.
Gaping maw of the void kind of thing, yeah.
Which of these do you want to push up a little bit? Smile's currently up a bit, but I can get that further down to a frown.
Ooh. Yeah, I think she's probably like somewhere slightly north of a frown, but I wouldn't go full on smile.
Like there?
Yeah, something that's about right. There's that sort of neutral expression in that regard.
Do you want to add in?
Okay, let's see.
Sort of a smirk that comes in.
Show me the top end. I really want to see how far that goes. Wow. I think somewhere in the... Go on.
That's the definition of spoony bard, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Somewhere in the lower 25% of that, I think.
Around
maybe
there?
a little, yeah. Actually, let's stick with 0 on that. I think she's, again, quite neutral expression in that regard, of whatever she is.
Snarl goes for the, like, anger.
Ooh, okay. I think a small one of those in that case, yeah. I think let's see, like, again, that yeah, that's it. Like that, just that mild look of contempt at generally everything. I think that's about right.
Confusion tends to go for the look.
Yeah, probably not for Ashra.
No. And Arg would open the mouth if you want to have the mouth open.
As covered.
As covered,
yeah. No, I think close. Yeah, no, good.
Cool, lovely. Now, you've got basic humanoid ears, unless Ashra's hiding a secret and want to throw in some big...
No, I think this one's nice. And so again, there's this is looking at the options. Yeah, it makes me want to start.
Sure, Ashra doesn't have
like designing. You see, I want to design a character in this first now, next time for things, and use that as a good basis. Look at all the fun things, and then work backwards. Yeah, that's good.
Now, Ashra's got very specific hair, doesn't she?
She's got quite a slicked back, kind of like it's sort of roughly shoulder length, but kind of over the back in that kind of regard.
Okay, there's so much choice here.
Here is about right.
Shoulder length, but over the back. We're not being too fluffy as well. It's quite sort of flat, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see what we got.
It's a bit too shaggy, that one. A bit up. It's quite
That's
brutal.
not far off.
It's a Shingana. Yeah, the short...
Ooh, what about middle third from the bottom now? Actually, it's a bit bushier, but that's somewhat close.
Oh dear.
I think that's possibly the closest.
We're gonna have to go for closest here, I think, over the specific, because that kind of really flat, straight hair.
Maybe the second in actually is quite princely hair. There you go. That seems...
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think
You can always come back
a
if you
little
want later.
less of a strong parting, and it still has the slick back and kind of thicker at the back kind of thing, which is also what I'm starting to sport as a lockdown haircut.
Does she have facial hair?
No. Again, should have designed with this first. Elephant ears, wings, and a full beard.
It's got various different kinds of eyebrow if you want to change that up, or the sort of very classic flat eyebrows. What do you think?
I think the starting one here is good. Yeah, that kind of sort of thin, neutral eyebrow.
Yeah. Eyes is just robots or aliens, which neither.
Okay, yeah.
Ashra doesn't have weird teeth, I believe, nor horns. So that's probably quite fitting.
What more's the pity, yeah.
Now, they've gone for basic humanoid body here. You don't want any of these in particular, I think. Humanoid
No, I think
legs.
we're good.
Now, measurements. How tall is Ashra?
She is average-ish, so sort of between mid fives of foot. Wait, no, so sort of 5'6" I think.
That's about 5'6" there. You can make a head a bit bigger if you want to
See,
give a better sense of proportion and scale potentially.
that's a good point there. I think actually,
Okay.
Lower, yeah.
Weight is currently sort of around the middle. You can bulk it up quite a bit or go quite a bit lower. What sort of end?
It'll be on the lower end. I think she's sort of. If she were taller, she might be described as gangly, but she's sort of she's sort of slight and well, she's a wizard. She's not very strong and muscular, so there's that kind of element as well.
Build also does that, so we can get
build,
all of those down. We'll come back to posture here. Posture's quite interesting because you can have a proper stoop, or you can go very straight backed.
Yeah. I think on the straight back end is good.
Do you want all the way up there, like with almost a hauteur in the chin, or do you want it down a little?
Can I see from the side a little bit?
Sure. Whoop.
There we go.
Whoop.
Oh yeah, I think all the way up. I think
All
that's
the way
good.
up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All the way up it is. Build we've kept quite low, but you can expand the chest if you want to.
No, I think we'll wow. Yeah. Honch wizard.
Wizard.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good point.
Now, the upper scale does things with the upper torso, like bulks it out, which you want to keep quite low, I presume.
Correct.
Yeah. Muscularity bulks out again, which again, I presume you want to keep quite low.
Yeah, negative strength modifier, so always.
Bust enhances or maximizes the bust. Do you have a particular thought on that front?
Relatively low down the scale. Again, she's quite slender overall.
Okay. Waist decreases waist size. Do you see her as more of a, like, that's the horrible end of it, but you want a more sort of middle of the range?
Somewhere in the middle, yeah. Yes. Not emaciated, but not yeah.
Belly actually does bulk out
yeah.
the belly and the area around it, or you can slim it back in all the way, depending on what you're looking for.
Again, somewhere 25% to 30% on that kind of scale is about right, I think.
Sure. Curves changes the hip curvature, so that can go up, or it can more of a wider hip, or again thinner hip.
Thinner, narrower, yeah.
Thinner and narrower, okay. And booty, as you might expect,
Wow.
increases or decreases that ass.
Similarly, we're on the lower ass end of the scale.
Yes. As wavy as possible. No wings, no tail, no tortoise shell, so that's quite easily done. Now, clothing. You have a very defined look for Ashra, don't you?
Yeah, there's probably something in here, which is so she tends to wear sort of it's quite sort of dressy clothing, lots of sort of sweeping lines and sort of flat fronts, that kind of thing. And again, wizardy, so wizard like wear. That's actually that's pretty solid actually.
We're not going to find the exact thing, I know.
No,
you want something quite clean and quite. I mean, you want it buttoned
That's
up.
the kind of material look. Yeah, it's that. Any of those three so far actually have been pretty solid.
Now that's a suit and trench. That's very specific. There are capes later, so if you don't need to do. I know she has a cape later, so if we try and go for what's like, that's almost a tux. But let's try. No, these are all sort of suits. We're looking for something a bit more inward. Hang on. I think that feels a bit sort of puffed up for me for her.
Yeah, a little bit. There's yeah. She's sort of formal, but not necessarily prim.
That was too much.
I think that's not. It's close.
I think this one also worked quite well because it's got
I think
closeness.
that's the strongest so far.
Yeah, let's start there. We can always come back if we want to. Does she wear any gloves, especially considering where you are at the moment in the Icewind Dale?
I think so.
Those
gloves, yeah,
they're quite sort of covering all the way up, but we can go for something a bit less hang on. Here we go. There's some very plain ones that just cover the hands, so we're not looking at anything that plays around too much with that kind of. Because she's not that showy at all, is she?
No, she's quite sort of standing in the background, looming kind of figure.
Yeah, in which case, let's not put too much. Let's put some standard gloves on.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And if we do a skirt covering to the bottom, was it trousers that she was in?
She's more trouserly. I don't think she would wear skirts, so that's also valid. But
that's cool. Let's see what we've got here.
Yeah, maybe something with some more folds.
More folds?
Yeah, but I think the one to the right of the one you started with, down and right one.
This one?
Oh, pajamas. I see. Buckskin pants. Maybe that then.
Buckskin? That has sort of
some of these are good.
That has sort of Han Solo and what they call
I see. Yeah.
victory stripes down the side. Some of these have a sort of trouser and a sort of
I see.
skirt.
No, that's actually quite good because again, it gets that kind of the billowing folds kind of style.
I was wondering if that might suit. The rest of these all tend to be sort of quite armoury. That's a chef. That's probably not right. Or something more layered like that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah.
That one?
I think so.
Over the elven one above. What was the first one?
Show me the elven one again.
This one.
All right, one more time, back and forth.
Sure.
The optometrist approach.
Trying to.
Oh yeah, I think the elven one. I think you're right.
Yeah. Cool. Then let's pop that in for now. And again, if you don't like any of these later, we can always tweak and change them, so no big deal on that. What sort of shoes are we looking at?
Either dress shoes or boots, but I think, things with buckles are acceptable.
Things with massive buckles?
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's not...
I couldn't resist. Let's have a look at a proper shoe, because there's...
I think boots like that are quite good as well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those are quite stern, aren't they?
I think they're snow worthy as well. Is good.
Cuffed might also work as well to give the
lines. Okay. Again, that gets into more folds territory, which is good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, stop there. A lot of these turn out to be sort of like armor at this point as well, or flip-flops. So there's
definitely not snow appropriate.
Yeah. Or we could do more boots if you want. Those look like
I think I like these ones with the folds on. Yeah, they're sort of the yeah.
No, she doesn't wear. What's that character called from Mortal Kombat? She doesn't wear
like a sort of Sub-Zero or
Shao Kahn. It's just definitely Shao Kahn who wears that mask, or a Plague Doctor mask. But yes, cool. That's clothing done. Does she have any particular gear that she carries, or things you'd like to have in the hands? You can have spell effects as well in the hands.
Yeah, spell effects is probably the way to go because the most conspicuous items are she's got a special ring and her spellcasting focus, which is a brooch. Hang on.
We'll come to pose later, but I find that if you look at the spell effects in the sort of standard pose, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, so holding it. There we go. Right, that's a better basis.
Yeah, so that's a better basis to work from looking at the spell effects. Hang on, where are we? There we are. So there's like things like a sort of fire in the hand, or a sort of bigger flame effect coming, like engulfing the hand almost. There's a hand coming out of the hand, which is particularly creepy. Or we've got sort of smoke effects, arrowed spell effects, projectile ball effects, skull effects.
Interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm. That seems entirely on brand.
Or a skull coming out of the hand is also very achievable.
Can I see some of the smoke effects?
Sure. That one's a sort of a basic smoke effect. There's the skull smoke effect to put the skull into it, and then there's the bigger smoke effect there as well.
Oh, it's hard to choose, isn't it?
I mean, this can also, once you start looking at poses, we can start moving these around a bit as well to try different things out.
Okay, let's start with the smaller non-skull smoke effect.
Non-skull, but Ashra's a necromancer.
We're gonna play with that, I think, in a bit because I want to see how it looks.
Okay, cool. Well, let's leave that there for now. Should we put one in each hand for now, just to get that out there?
Yeah, and then we can tweak it.
We can tweak it if we need to. Do you want to add anything else in terms of gear in the hands, or you can put it at the side, on the back, around the mouth? Rings is also an option.
Oh, rings. Let's have a look at rings. Yeah, she does wear at least a couple of rings.
Any what kind?
Oh, that's
and on
cool.
what finger? Yeah, I know.
That's great. Yeah. So on the left hand, on
Yes.
the ring finger and the middle finger, I'd put two of those middle rings.
One of these.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look like next to each other. Actually, oh, it's gonna be hard to see with. No, I won't
Oh,
pan it around.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course,
Great.
you have a ring of
Yeah.
spell storing, don't you? And that looks kind of like a ring of
Exactly,
spell storing.
yeah, and that's kind of that double ring style design.
Yeah,
so I think she'd
fantastic.
wear that along with a couple of more regular, just cosmetic rings.
I'm going to
so I
throw
think a couple of the plain bands, maybe.
randos in on that hand as well. Slightly hard to
Perfect.
see, but there's a couple more rings there as well.
I think that's good. I think that's a good spread.
Her amulet's also her spellcasting focus, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah.
Do we want to try and find a way to add that in? Can we add that in? Wouldn't be in the hands or side, I think.
Well, she'd hold it while using it. It's sort of lapel worn while not in use, but if she's using it as a casting focus, she detaches it.
I don't think there is something that works like that. As it wouldn't be. It would be very small, and I don't think anything in here is small.
Yeah, I think spell effect. That's kind of why I'm leaning towards spell effect.
Cool. Let's just do that for now. That's cool. Great. Right. Anything worn on the back? Like
I think she avoids carrying things as far as possible. That's oh no. Okay, there you go. Sorry. Yes. Crucially,
the cape. That's a sort of long, slim cape. This one's called a sci-fi cape, so it's got sort of cool bits in the side of it, or there's more of the sort of tri-cape or a capelet.
Either the first one or the sci cape. I think actually.
Which one
yeah, I think this is good. I like a classic like billowing cape. I think that's
billowing
good.
cape. Let's do that. Fantastic. And you don't want a sort of snowy.
I think that's weirdly too practical. Like she's wearing the cape as a concession to the weather, but it's not like yeah, most of her wardrobe is not optimized for the horrendous weather of the Dale.
Understood. Right. Back items would add more stuff on the back, which with the cape looks a bit weird, so let's not do that. Now, pose-wise, let's try a couple of these out. I'm digging this one, frankly, but let's just try a couple more and see if anything stands out for you.
Yeah, let's have a look.
We can adapt these using the advanced pose adaptation as well. So if you like that's close, but maybe if the hand was over there kind of vibe, we can definitely play with that.
Cool. Looks surprised by one's own spell. That's a classic. Yeah,
It's such a good one. I like that one for like particularly up themselves wizards, but I don't think that suits Ashra particularly well.
No, well, I mean, in a different way, but yeah.
I do like that one. That's more of a like, come on.
Interesting how versatile. Like I'm imagining them with different items in the hand and how much different each one would look.
Now, these obviously are poses where the smoke goes up, but don't forget there were spell poses where spells go out, so you could also swap some of these out if you wanted to try different things.
Actually works. Okay.
I feel like that one.
Plaintive looking. Let's see a few more. I'm having fun seeing the different ones.
I've had a thought here. Tell me if you think this is too much. But if that hand now has the skull effect in it, then she's looking pensively at the skull effect, and she's a necromancer, so there's a certain amount of what is going on here, though I'd probably then take that hand out.
I am liking this. Yes. No, I'm good with that. It's that sort of slightly understated with a giant flaming skull coming out of your hand, but still it's that. It's not like a sort of blasty posture, which it wouldn't be very her, but it's a.
I mean, if you wanted, you could
also subtler. Yeah, well, yeah.
Blast.
Double skull blast.
Double skull blast. Or one of those. That's quite cool as well. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
Anyway.
Yeah, I like this. I like having it in one hand with the pose focus sort of in that direction.
Cool, lovely. Well, let's pop that for now. And again, if anything wants to be changed, it's perfectly easy to change it. Here comes the big bit, which is adding the colour in. It starts off by what it awkwardly refers to as race, but looking at various skin colours. Look specifically for the skin tone. The hair and everything like that's easy to change, but skin tone's a bit trickier.
Okay. She's quite pale white skin and pale on that spectrum. That sort of colour? Is probably that's it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Now, in terms of theme, they do sort of do overall paint washes and things like that.
That's good.
But we can go through and adapt all of these, so there's no need to be too locked in on any of them.
Cool, yeah. But it's a nice starting point to see the palette all together. Yeah.
Any of these particularly leap out at you as being...
Wow, yeah. I mean, but yeah, greens and greys and dark colors. I think are her palette really.
Greens and greys and dark colours. Should we
So
start here and then make it less
that's actually
garish?
yeah. I mean, for all the garish purple, it's not a bad reference point because it's got the right kind of balance of highlights and stuff.
Cool. Now let's start with the obvious one, which is hair, because that hair's a bit red,
Yep.
isn't it? What sort of hair are you
Yeah, no,
looking for
she's
here?
a sort of darkish brunette color.
Like
So,
that, or more like...
I'd say a little dark on the sort of like almost black or grayer side. In fact, yeah. Maybe
Yeah?
something from the top row actually, even maybe
What, up here?
third or fourth one in. See what it looks like. It's much grayer, but then I was
It comes
okay,
out very
that's
light
much,
grey because of the hair.
yeah, that's much stronger than I was thinking. Salt and pepper maybe. I'm not sure how that will look with the hairstyle, but let's have a look. I think that yeah, we could try a shade darker, but I think that's probably good. The one to
shade
the
darker
left
is
of
what
it
we
maybe,
just did.
or oh, that was that one. Okay, I think salt and pepper then. Yeah.
Eye colour?
Eye color. I'm trying to remember. I think she's got green eyes, or green grey is good. Either of these.
That green's very...
strong
that
and
green's
striking.
very
Yeah.
strong. Let me try the grey. It's a bit less garish, isn't it?
Yeah,
do
I
you
think that's
think?
good.
What
like
I
that.
also suggest, you can change... You can't change the lip colour. Oh, you can, normally. What's going on here? You could change the lip colour to add in a bit more vibrancy if you want to do what will usually be referred to as lipstick.
Right. Yes, in different color. Yeah.
Like a slightly
I
paler
think
pink.
I think she is. She's got quite a pale complexion. Would probably not. Okay, maybe a little bit of brightness. Let's do that and see. Yeah, we'll look at it in totality. But that looks good.
Cool. Now this spell
I'm really
effects-
digging the colours. It's that immediate shift from the imagination space from like this sort of blank canvas to
Yes.
suddenly being absolutely vibrant and seeing all the detail.
Do you like the grey on the skeleton here, or do you want to go for something a bit more like adding metal effects on these? Always looks very cool.
Yeah. I like that. I like magic sort of color tones generally, sort of like reds and purples and greys and greens. Again,
Should we
like
try and
the
add in some
clothes and things.
purple? Let's see what happens when we
Yeah.
try and add in sort of purple.
Gem purple color.
These are all a bit garish.
Bit strong, yeah.
Let's see if we can find something a bit lighter purple here. Like there's some flame effects that come
Ooh,
in.
okay, yeah, that's that middle one. Try it. Where?
I'm being thrown by the colour of the glove. The glove is so purple.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's make the glove a black leather, just to
Yep.
get it out of the way. Cause
There we go.
that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that makes it much
And
easier to
then
contrast.
let's try the spell effect again and see if I want to try this purple. I like this purple. Look at that. Is that too much?
I think that's good. I like that.
It's got a kind of creepy quality to it that I really dig.
Yeah.
And then maybe a slightly darker bone. Sorry, I'm getting confident.
Yeah, we'll
Let's get a sort of, hang on. Yeah, one of these sort of bone colours. Is that too much for you?
What's the one to the left of the one you just chose? That
one.
elk.
Ooh, that's good.
There we go. Yeah.
See if we can make the teeth a bit brighter. Yeah, there we go.
Yes. Brilliant.
Now, while we're here, just
excellent.
because we're here and it's driving me nuts, this ring is I mean, who'd wear that? It's gold, your ring of spell storing, isn't it?
Yeah. Like a classic ring of spell storing. So
Hang on,
both
let me get a
parts
bit
of
closer to it so I can see it better. Let's get the gold in there and the gold in there.
Oh wow, you can do the separate color. That's
I
great.
can.
Yeah.
But now you've got a full gold ring of spell storing there.
Great.
Do you like the sort of purpley undertones to this garment?
How much can we play with the
Oh,
tones?
tons.
Great.
The way that it works is it gives you a sort of colour match, and then if it's got other tones in it, like for example like that, it'll steer them in a little bit.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So we
good.
can get a sort of colour variation slightly. Do you want something a bit more aubergines, the way they use here, on the outfit, or do you want it to be a bit, because that's sort of...
Can we look at in the middle of right under the darks bit, the green one? I think it'll probably come out too green.
This one?
Right under, yeah, that's it. Let's see what it looks like. Maybe one to the left or right of it. Though I quite like that. Yeah, I think that's more.
Let me add that
Yeah.
colour throughout so that we've got
Yeah.
that colour set in. We can probably change some of these because they're now a bit dimmed, but we can fix that. Do you want that sort of green highlight? Would you like a different shade of green?
I think the green highlight's a bit strong, but it's the right idea.
How about
Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah,
that?
see that throughout.
Because that's a lighter green, not
Yep.
quite as. I'll put it on the shoes as well. Just.
Yeah.
Let's stop these. Let's get rid of the garishness of this nonsense. Now the black on the gloves. I'm going to try and replicate the black on the gloves. I can replicate the colours I've used. Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. You got a list of everything used so far.
Make the gloves a bit darker, and then replicate that on the boots to get that.
Brilliant.
There we go. That belt's ridiculous. Let's have a look at some leather. No, it's too bright, that leather.
Bit bright, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to keep playing around with things.
No,
until we
I will.
stop,
I will
so-
make noise if I'm not happy because this is looking great.
There we
That's
go.
good,
Is that a bit
yeah,
too
yeah.
uniform for you?
I think her general palette is quite uniform and understated. I think that's a good mix, and I like because the green on the back of the cape looks different, which is
Well, the
whole
cape's
face
the
is
same
good.
green as the green
Oh,
effects,
as
but the
the trim.
underside is currently a different green. We can make that a black
Can we
again.
flip that? Can we put the outer side of the cape to be a darker color, and then the underside can either stay the same or be the same as the trim?
So the outer side being... Oh, you want the outer
The
side...
outer side be like a darker, maybe like a
Oh, I'm
almost
sorry. I misunderstood.
green,
So-
grey or green.
Let's put that on the outer side
like
and
the-
then put a grey-green, which we can definitely
Yeah, or
find
it could be
on
it could be the
paint.
same as her sort of tunic and main sort of black gat color, or it could be a comparable one.
That's a slightly
Wow.
lighter green.
Yeah.
Or do you want a slightly darker green?
Let's try it. Let's see it darker. It doesn't need to match what's on her sleeve now as visible, but it could be somewhere closer to that.
That's the same.
Okay. I mean,
That's more of a grey.
yeah, that's sort of in the middle. Yeah,
Right. How's that?
it's looking great. It's looking really great.
Those rings are fucking hideous and we have to fix them now.
Oh, the other ones, yeah, no, true.
What have they done? What?
Luminescent green.
Yeah, it's just a bit much, isn't it? So a brassy ring there. That's a bit much as well, isn't it? Let's try and get something a bit brassier. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, that matches nicely.
Hang on, missed a spot down there. Does this? You think you've got all the spots, and you look at it and go, nah, missed one. There we go. So now all the colours match a bit better. Do you want the buckles in a different thing? Buckles are currently a bit understated. They could be a bit...
I like understated. I think I was thinking about having maybe like bringing them out in like a metallic color, but I think actually that draws focus away from the.
Well, it means that the outfit color is very defined, which is nice, and the gloves really sort of highlight that you don't see much of her skin, and where you do so pale. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That then the spell effect really stands out, and the ring really stands out as well, which is great. Oh, that's a really great shot. I really like that. Cool. Is there anything you'd like to add or tweak to there? That's basically it, but I don't want to.
I'm really happy with that. No, this is great.
Oh, she looks so cool.
Yes.
Great,
Yeah.
lovely.
It's just-
Well,
this is slightly savage. That's the wrong word to use, but this is slightly sort of aggressive expression while being quite understated and flat placed.
yeah. Cool. Thank you, George. That's fantastic. We've got a bit fuzzy.
Connection latency probably.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you very much. It's fantastic. And you can see George and Ashra on Icewind Dale Corrupted. Make your own minis with Hero Forge, but come and see us use these. That will be on Monday evenings, GMT, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at twitch.tv/DND and twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. So do join us there to see Ashra in action and George. Massive thank you. See everyone soon. Bye.